Narbash is a very memorable hero, came out way back on Legacy. He's had some work done to him, not too much, and he's also had the pleasure of being quite meta a couple times as well. In this rework, I'm trying to make him more of a healer, an actual healer. And you know what? It's actually really exciting. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a hero rework video. I am Sylphin. So, a few things right off the bat. One, this does not represent what Unleashed Games is going to be doing at all. This is simply my idea alone. Two, hero passives are coming back, and we will need to come up with some for all these heroes that we are reworking, including Narbash. Three, I like what I am calling a Paragon mechanic. If you can do something, use a hero's kit appropriately that emphasizes their gameplay style, their draft lobby reason, the reason why you picked that hero in the first place. If you do something that really accentuates that reason, then you are rewarded and you become a Paragon and it gets better. So it rewards you for, playing well and fulfilling your purpose on the battlefield. Four, I think that each and every hero needs a very particular gameplay style, gameplay niche, a reason to pick in the draft lobby, and I'm trying to emphasize that here in this rework. So each of them have a very strong identity, and we're going to emphasize that in their hero kits, because otherwise you get heroes that kind of are the same, and they're the same thing, and they're the same reason, and there's no real significance in picking other heroes in the draft lobby, and you do not want that. You want there to be a diversity of heroes and diverse options in the draft lobby and in the game. So let's get right to it. What is the gameplay niche, the theme? What is Narbash's identity? To me, he is a AOE support healer, and you'll notice that healer is the main one. He's a healer. He's a support healer. So he has things that support his team, but mainly he is a healer that does it AOE style. So what kind of passive best works with him? So I've got rid of his March ability, and I've reworked a Song by People quite heavily. I would think, but his Thunk and Crash Bang Boom are basically the same. His passive is a combination of his old Song of My People and his March. Whenever Narbash uses an ability, increase nearby allies, movement speed, and health regen for 2.5 seconds. This can stack, and the duration is reset for new stacks. So he only has his War Drum, Thunk, and Crash Bang Boom, so it can only stack 3 times. That's as many stacks as you're going to get. Toggling Song of My People does not proc this. So essentially you can get 3 times the value of this, and the intent here is that you thunk somebody that gives just like here, just like this Narbash you're seeing here, gives people some movement speed. You use War Drums to increase everybody's damage. You get even more movement speed to help engage, and then you use Crash Bang Boom to really make sure that your allies can follow you as you are slowing the enemy. So it helps with engagement, and it also helps with disengage. You can thunk somebody that you don't want to be following you. You can War Drum to kind of just use that to increase their allies' attack speed, and I'm sure you can see that it also reduces cooldowns. Just to use that, and if you really want to be a true support, sacrifice yourself with Crash Bang Boom, slowing your enemies and allowing your allies to escape. So it combines a few things from his kit and gives him a great AOE passive that just helps. The health regen, it won't be too significant. It'll just help top everybody up. That's sort of a thing. It's just something that helps you, sustain. It's general sustain, not like true healing for your allies. That's his passive. War Drums. It's a new ability that replaces his March. Narbash lets out a war call on his drums, increasing nearby allies' attack speed, synergizing very well with fighters, basic attack assassins, and carries by an amount for a fairly significant amount, especially in the late game, and reduces nearby allies' active cooldowns by an okay amount, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, something like that, so that you're both helping basic attack damage dealers and ability-based heroes, and it's active cooldowns. It's not cooldown reduction, nothing like that. It's active ability cooldowns. So if a howitzer has used all of his abilities and he's waiting for all of his abilities to come off cooldown, Narbash can take 5 seconds off of those active cooldowns. It doesn't affect it. So if you use it inappropriately and nobody has any active cooldowns and everybody can just use all their abilities, you kind of wasted it. So you have to be smart with that ability if you really want to use that part of it. The attack speed is, again, kind of wasted on you know, a lot of ability-based heroes and casters and stuff. So again, there's a dual purpose. You have to use that one relatively smartly and at the right time if you want to utilize the different parts of that ability. Song of My People, it's kind of the same, but it's much stronger. It's much stronger because his passive is, it's a little tickle. It tickles you to health. You know, you get some health from it. That's the intention. Forget all the numbers. Just think that it's a little bit of a tickle that kind of, you know, over time can help you, you know, gain some sustain. Song of My People is the healing ability. Narbash produces a healing aura with a 700 unit radius for 40, 60, 80, 100. It's basically twice as strong as Song of My People used to be. So it's like you'll feel this one. You're like, oh yeah, there's some healing. But the amount will increase on allies within a large cone in front of Narbash, prioritizing those with more percentage-based health missing at the expense of allies elsewhere in its radius. So, when you put on Song of My People, you'll see a certain part of the radius has a cone. And if you put allies, if you're facing allies, if you put allies in that cone, the healing from elsewhere around the radius, if allies are in it, will get prioritized onto those heroes in the cone. So you have essentially a bit of a way to focus the healing on a target or a couple allies in that cone. So allies with the frontal cone, allies within the frontal cone can be healed for more the more allies are in the entire radius. So essentially, if you have all 4 of your allies within your radius, you have more healing overall to send to the targets in the frontal cone, something like that. So essentially, it's really well, you synergize very well with having allies in your area of effect, hence AOE support healer. That's again, it relies on his theme in order to be the most effective. Fantastic. Uses 24, 30, 36, 48, 60 mana. It's the same ratio as before. It uses a lot of mana. So you'll be you can actually draw good value from your mana, from added mana on Narbash, and turn it into healing. One important thing is Narbash cannot prioritize healing onto himself, so he will never get more than 100 health per second, say. So I did do some rough math right below what you're seeing here in the document. I did do some rough math. If one person is super low on your team and you have your entire team on you, you can't send more than, I think it was something like 250, something like that, 250 health a second to that one target, as you're taking it away from the other 4 people on your team. So it won't ever be like 500 health a second. It won't be anything like ridiculous like that. At least in my idea, it'll just be a significant amount, like 250 health a second. That's actually that's pretty darn good. So you have that ability to focus. You focus the healing just a bit. A lot of questions on stream were asked about this, and this is essentially how it works. if you as a melee healer, a melee support like Narbash, you're either in one of two scenarios. One, you're chasing down the enemy and you're on top of the enemy because your allies don't need help, don't need healing, and you are just applying what little DPS you have from your basic attack, but mostly you're body blocking the enemy, using your thunk to get in front of them, using your thunk, using offensive crash bang boom, stuff like that. You are in them. You aren't facing your allies because they don't need it. If they do need it, your role as an AOE support healer, especially a melee support healer, is to be body blocking for your friendly team, meaning you are close to your allies, body blocking enemy melee heroes away, or body blocking projectiles from enemy-based heroes. So as you can see, one, you're either not with your allies, or not as close to them, focusing enemies, or two, you're focusing your allies, meaning you're likely facing them because you're trying to body block for them, you're trying to get in the way of projectiles, stuff like that. And Narbash did that very well. He is quite a large hero. So that's why the design of this, of that cone, works with how Narbash functions. There you go. The Paragon mechanic is part of this ability. After 3,000 healing, something like that, somewhere in the mid-game, Song of My People will now give 5% damage reduction to all allies within its radius and 10% within the frontal cone while active. Again, incentivizing you to fulfill your role, body blocking projectiles, body blocking for your team, healing your allies, stuff like that, so that you can give damage reduction to your team. Awesome. Thunk, that hasn't changed. Throw a drumstick that deals damage, stuns an enemy. Super awesome. Bread and butter ability for Narbash. Great pick against an enemy Gideon. Against just anybody you need consistent stuns and a team that synergizes with consistent crowd control. Awesome. Wonderful ability. Doesn't need to be changed at all. Crash Bang Boom, it's the same. Slowing, damaging enemy heroes within a radius. 3 seconds, knocks people up. Narbash is slowed by 50% for the duration. It's real nice and simple. Just two things needed to change. Give him a passive. That passive best suits, I think, his March and somewhat of his Song of My People. Put that into his passive. Give him a new ability that synergizes well with his carry or with ability-based heroes. If it's an ability carry, Song of My People, give that some meaty health or some meaty healing, and the option to focus the AoE healing just a bit, not too much, just a little bit, so that you can play. It's not just a click the ability and forget about it. No, you can actually manipulate it a little bit and play with it. Thunk is solid. Crash Bang Boom is solid. There you go. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of my Narbash rework? Just my idea. Let me know down in the comments below. Please like the video if you like it, dislike it, share it with the community, guys. Of course, subscribe. You guys want more content. There's lots more coming about Unleashed Games, Paragon 2, and other stuff. Definitely wanting to, you know, explore other things as well. Thank you guys very much. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.